Let's get started. Yes, I hit record. You're gonna need just the usual 2 blocks, a blanket, a strap, and then we're gonna use the wall a little bit at the beginning and then again towards the end. So I would just set yourself up by a wall now or have one close that it's easy to access. So go ahead and start on your back. I'm not putting a blanket under me because we're not really rolling around very much, but if you like really prefer it, that's fine. Um, Feet towards the wall, have a strap handy for later, and then once I get all my props situated, you can lay down. However's comfortable. So once you're on your back, if you haven't yet, you could close your eyes and just take some time here to settle in. You're doing this Monday. Some of you in teacher training, we just finished our teacher training weekend. So I'm sure some of you like me are just feeling a little tired, a little run down, which is fine. So hopefully today's practice will kind of help focus and maybe bring the energy up a little bit. We'll see. So for now, we covered the vayus in training this weekend. For those of you unfamiliar, it's part of the energetic body of yoga work, meaning just one way that we move energy, call that prana. The vayus are just one map. So are the chakras. Probably more of you have heard of the chakras, but the vayus are a similar map. And so to settle here, that's working with our apana vayu. And that's just bringing energy, breath, wind down and out. So as you settle here, really tune into the exhalation portion of your breath. So maybe as you exhale, you try to deepen that exhale, lengthen that exhale slightly more than the inhale. As we get moving through practice, we will be into more chronic pranavayu, so like chest, heart opening, shoulder work, as well as maybe some samanavayu, kind of in the core, belly center. So for now, try to settle a little bit so that we can move then from a place of being more grounded. Take a few more moments here. So go ahead and scoot your feet to the wall. Oh, I see someone's in the waiting room. I'm coming. Okay. So, hi, Courtney. We're just set up at the wall with all the regular props. So scoot your feet up to the wall here and make sure you've got your strap in your hand and just make yourself a little loop. Left foot will stay firm on the wall, and then you'll hook the loop around the ball mound of your right foot and just extend that right leg up. For the Supta Padangusthasana series, we've got to open our hamstrings a little bit of where we're going. So I know I said we'd be more in the chest, shoulders, and belly, which is true, but none of these poses exist in a vacuum. So some leg hip opening is required. So just hold the strap loop in your right hand as it's also around the right foot, and then make your right leg straight and strong. And then simultaneously push your left foot into the wall and make your left leg straight and strong. And just take some big breaths here. as you try to find some space, some opening in the back of your right leg. Again, still breathing with some of that grounded energy we cultivated at the very beginning. We're on our back. It's a great way to sort of stay literally close to the ground. Kind of getting our legs, getting our pelvis, so that when we start to move more upper body related, we've got a strong foundation. Last few moments here. So listen carefully. We're going to do this Supta P2 variation slightly different. So you're actually going to put the strap in your left hand, and then we're still going to do right leg out to the right. So what's going to happen is your left arm is going to sweep across your body. You need the right hand to be like a little shelf. You can do that. Otherwise, I like to use my right hand out to the side to kind of press into so I'm not tipping over. We've got more things pulling to the right here. So just trying to get a little shoulder stretch is partly why we're doing it. Still push your left foot into the wall and push your left leg down. That's also going to help you from tipping. Breathe here. Oh, I was just looking for my phone, so I always have a timer. Otherwise, I'll talk forever and it'll be noon, and suddenly I'll be like, oh, class was supposed to be over forever ago. Take a few more breaths here. Left arm is just right across the chest, and right leg is out to the right. Okay, go ahead and bring that right leg up. We're going to keep it in the left hand and then cross that right leg a little to the left. So this part's more normal. Take some big breaths here, just kind of getting into that outer right hip, outer right leg. I like to, maybe you saw it, reach that right hip toward the wall. Just creates more length in my right side waist. So my right hip's not like hiked up too much. Last couple of breaths. All right, you guys, flip that strap off your right foot. Place your right foot on the wall next to your left foot and pause. Check into your breath. Checking you into class, Courtney, so I don't forget. Great. All right, so keep your right foot firm on the wall. Side two, flip the loop around your left foot. Left hand can be in the loop. Stretch your left leg up. You might need to scoot into the wall to really get a firm. So you can really press the right foot into the wall and the back of the right leg down. That gives me so much grounding. It's really nice. And then left leg straight in the air, left fingers hooked in the loop. And then just breathe here, trying to find space in the back of the left leg. Take a couple more breaths. Great. Now you're going to put your right hand in the loop, left hand out to the side, and then open your left leg out to the left. So that right arm kind of sweeps across the chest. I personally like this sort of tugging. It kind of pulls my right shoulder blade away from the spine. And I get a good stretch in my outer right arm. Continue to push your right foot into the wall here and push the back of your right leg down as you breathe. Take a few more breaths here. Great. Bring your left leg back up. Right hand will stay in. And then cross your left leg over to the right. Oof. I needed this one. Press your right foot into the wall still. Squeeze your inner thighs. And try to keep left leg straight as you have been. I know some of you that might not be totally straight, which is fine, but kind of keeping a similar leg in all straight up, out to the side, and cross the body variations. Last couple breaths. Great. All right, y'all, go ahead and lose the strap. Put both feet on the wall. Find this little supine mountain pose here. And take a few breaths. So bend your knees and just scoot like a few inches from the wall. So now if you were to straighten your legs, you're not going to touch it. This is key. And then grab one of your blocks. You're going to put it between your palms. Actually, bend your knees to start. You're going to put it between your palms, squeeze in, and then stretch your arms overhead. So your job is to push your palms into the block and make your arms firm. And then from here, do a big major tail tuck so that you're really trying to press your low back into the floor and the sides of your waist down. So that's the goal here, is as we do this sequence, your low back really is going to want to pop up and your side waist and your ribs, but you're going to try to not allow that. Stretch both legs up toward the ceiling. Hip width is fine. So see how I'm in 90 degrees. I'm squeezing block with hands, and I'm trying not to let my low back side waist pop off the floor. If they do, you've gone too far. Back off until they don't. Big inhale here. Exhale, lower your right leg as far as you can without low back sideways popping, and hover. I got the shakes. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, lower, hover. Now, some of you might not go as far because you're trying to not lose the integrity in the low back. Some of you can go further. Inhale, come up. This is the move. I know you're at home. Go slow. Exhale, lower, hover. Inhale, come back up. Meaning, I know some of you could be at home just like rushing through this. What am I going to know? Fine. You're just kind of like not helping yourself get the core strength needed for this pose, but also just generally. We're going to do once more each side. Notice the pace I'm going. One more time, lower right leg, exhale, hover. Remember, sideways, low back. Inhale, come up. And exhale, lower, sideways, hover. Inhale, come up. You can leave your block there overhead and just bend your knees, soften your belly. I feel that. Pause and breathe. Especially when you're trying to keep that low back down and the ribs corseted in. I think it's really challenging, especially if you're like me and your low back is really bendy. Building up that deep core strength will help some of that hypermobility, right? We're looking for mobility, but not too much, just enough. Reach for that block overhead. So this time, stretch your arms to the ceiling, palm the block, and then you're going to bend your elbows like 90 degrees. You see one of my kids peeking under the doorway. And then you'll bring your block right above your head But notice how I'm still trying to hug my elbows in as wide as the block. You can even curl your fingers around the block and have those on the floor. That's fine. Just like last time, stretch both legs up, pressure low back sideways down. Elbows are going to want to flare out. Try to avoid it, as well as try to avoid low back lifting. Just like last time, exhale, lower right leg, hover. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower, hover. Remember, low back, sideways, rib flare. Inhale, lift. Few more times. Exhale, lower right leg. Check in with your elbows. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower left leg. Check in with your ribs, low back, sideways. Inhale, lift. Do 2 more each side. Left side. 1 more time each side. Right leg first. Inhale, come up. Last one. Exhale, lower, hover. And come up. You can set the block down, bend your knees. Oh boy. Relax your belly. Take a few big breaths. And then you can hug your knees in and rock yourself up to sit. We'll just stay at the wall. You maybe pull your mat a little bit away from the wall just because we're not going to use it for a bit, but we'll revisit it soon. And then from here, once you're upright, come to the top of your mat, spread your fingers wide, and let's set our hands up well here. So turn your hands out slightly, index fingers point straight ahead, curl the toes under, and we'll go right back and up into our first down dog of the morning. So per usual, warm up here. You can bend one leg at a time. Kind of get acquainted. But then once you've moved around a bit, stay here in dog. Try to relax your head and neck. Push into the mat and firm the muscles of your arms. Bend your inner arms towards your outer arms, but still press into all 10 finger pads, as well as the knuckles of your hands. Next time you inhale, float your heels super high. Bend your knees a little bit, and then bring your chest closer to your thighs. Straighten your legs and stretch your heels back and down. Let's take 3 breaths here. One more breath here. Good. Inhale, plank pose from here. I won't always say it, but just know if you need to put your knees down at any point, you can. Push the mat away with your hands. Corset your ribs in. And then let's all put knees down and slowly lower to the belly. Keep your hands where they are. Come to the tops of your feet. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Reach your elbows straight back. Inhale, lift up cobra. Engage your back muscles. Squeeze your butt muscles. Good. Exhale, lower down. Come back to all fours. If you need knee padding, we're going to be on our knees for a little bit here. I would put a blanket underneath your knees. Otherwise, you can kind of back up a little bit so you've got some room out in front of you. We're going to keep our hips stacked over our knees here, puppy pose. Stretch your arms way out in front of you, like downward dog arms. Engage them. And as you push the mat away, butt stays stacked over knees, you're going to slowly, reluctantly bring that chest towards the floor. Eventually, you'll realize, like me, like, oh, my chest is not going to come to the floor. And so then at that point, you can slowly put your forehead down. Again, the mobility really happens in the low back. And we want to get more in the upper back chest, that prana vayu. So think between the shoulder blades, but then like we were doing in our abdominal work section, pull your front ribs in, lengthen your low back a little, and see if you can isolate more in the upper back chest. Breathe here. If it feels good to eventually drop your elbows down, fine. I personally tend to like just engaged arms for the most part, but you can play around with that. A few more breaths. Good. Inhale, come back up to hands and knees. You can just keep the blanket there. Downward facing dog. Treat it like puppy pose and bring your chest closer to your thighs. Firm up those legs. Good. Okay, come back onto your knees. Keep the blanket there if it was helpful. Grab your two blocks, put them at the top of your mat. See how mine are on the second side, so not the tallest, not the shortest height. And then you'll bring your elbows to the blocks this time. You can measure so that they're about shoulder width. Palms together like a prayer, and then walk your knees back. Keep them under your hips. Fingers point up toward the ceiling. And then you're going to slowly drop your head between your arms behind your blocks. So it's like a bent elbow variation of the puppy pose. Again, chest, head moves toward the floor, but try not to let your ribs and your belly move as much toward the floor. So I've got to rein it in my low back and try to sink, surrender in my upper back. Breathe here. Push your elbows into the blocks a little bit, especially if you're in the bendy shoulder club, if you've got a lot of mobility in your shoulders. Women especially sometimes tend to have this. That's not always a good thing. So if you push your elbows down, you can find a very gentle baby lift in the center of each armpit. And then from here, stay in this, slowly begin to bend your elbows. Like you could reach your triceps forward. Maybe you bend your arms enough that your thumbs will touch the back of your spine. A big tricep stretch here. Continue to breathe. Push your elbows down a little. Pull your front ribs in. Less low back bend, more in the upper back. Breathe. Great. Walk your knees forward. Come on out. Have a seat on your heels. Rest and pause. Yeah, so shoulder stuff, I get it. It's a lot. It can be quite intense, but we do what we can. So from here, you're just going to need one block, so you can ditch one. Put that block on its flattest side. Then you're going to come down onto your forearms with the block between your palms. So kind of like how we had it when we were doing the ab work on our back. So from here, let's keep the knees down for a moment. Push your hands into the block. Push your forearms down like you do in plank pose with the hands, and spread your shoulder blades apart on your upper back. So really get a big spread, and then plug your shoulder blades into their sockets. So we're really trying to be stable there in that shoulder girdle. And then you can step your legs back, forearm plank. Push the forearms down, spread your shoulder blades, and then pull your front ribs in, lift your belly, and squeeze your legs. Breathe. Forearm plank, easier on the wrists because you're not on them, but harder on the quads, like more belly work. And then from here, bend your knees, walk your feet in, start to lift your hips up. See how my knees are still bent? Let's stay there. And then you can slowly try to straighten your legs. And just like down dog, push the block down and away to move your chest closer to your thighs. And then here's the hardest part. Soften your upper traps, tops of shoulders away from your ears. Breathe. One more big breath. Good. Come on down. Move your blocks. If you don't have a blanket, I would set one up now underneath your knees. I don't usually need it for the puppy pose stuff, but for lunges, I prefer it. And then you can come to downward facing dog. Step your feet a little closer together. Make sure you've got room behind you. Inhale, lift your right leg, back it up, three-legged dog. Squeeze your glutes here, look forward, and step your right foot between your hands. Good. Lower your back knee. Just take a couple breaths here with your hands down, low lunge. Just allow that front, the front of the back hip flexor to open. Bring a block with you, block to thigh, come all the way upright. Draw your belly back, block between palms, inhale, stretch your arms up. And then from here, palm the block, bend your elbows 90 degrees, bring the block behind your head, hug your elbows in, and then push the block away from the back of your skull. Lift your chest. Breathe. One more breath. Good. Bring your block down. Hands down. Lift your back knee. Step back, downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths here. So when we start doing the bent arm action, I always really appreciate regular down dog. Like, oh yeah, this is easier than all the bent arm stuff. Good. Feet closer. Inhale, lift your left leg up. Three-legged dog. Squeeze your leg. Squeeze your glutes. Look forward. Step your left foot between your hands. Lower your back knee. Bring your block with you. Come on up. Really draw the tailbone down here. Block between palms. Inhale, arms up. And then slow motion, bend your elbows. Keep those elbows hugged in. Push the block away from the back of your head. Lift your elbows. Lift your chest, sit your hips down. One more breath. Good. Bring the block down. Hands down. Lift your back knee up. Step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, lower to your belly. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, lower. Curl your toes under. Press back, downward facing dog. Good. Go ahead and peek forward and walk. Step over the blanket. Walk your feet up to your hand. Let's step the feet hip width distance here. Put a bend in your knees for now. Glue your belly to your thighs. Bring your hands or fingertips down. If you need blocks for your hands, you can. Release your head and neck. And then play around with kind of how the belly has to turn on here. So shift your weight forward more into the hands and the fronts of the feet. And then you can straighten the legs any amount. These days I've been playing with, I rarely straighten them all the way in Uttanasana. I still get a really good stretch and I feel more engaged rather than just popping my knees back, which most of you know now, I hate that. It's just not good for your joints. I'd rather you lift your knees than push them back. Breathe. Good. Hands to hips. Come up. Find a moment, Tadasana. And then you can move your blanket off the mat. Turn to face the long edge of your mat and just set a block down in front of you. We won't need it yet. Stand in the middle of your mat, hands to hips. Take a really long, wide stance. Turn your toes in slightly so the outer edges of your feet are parallel to the edges of your mat. Firm your legs. Big inhale here, lift your chest. Exhale, lean forward, hinge forward here. Bring your hands down to the floor. Take a big inhale again, engage your back muscles. Exhale, walk your hands back between your feet and fold forward. Wide-legged forward fold. Breathe here. Let's all bend the knees a little bit. Shift forward. Lift your shoulders. Hug elbows in shoulder width. And then slowly re-extend your legs. Good. Walk your hands forward. Inhale, half lift. Scoot your feet in a little bit. Soften the knees, hands to hips. Come up. And then step feet together. Take a few breaths. Bend your knees. Leo, I see your fingers under the door. Take a wide stance. Turn your toes in slightly. So same stance as before. Firm your legs, big inhale. Exhale, hinge forward. Bring your hands right underneath your shoulders. So this time, grab your block. And I'll explain this, but you can kind of watch if you can see. You might need to bend your knees to get low enough, but I'm actually going to grab the block with my elbows, pick it up, and then bring my hands back between my feet. So it's the same Prasarita stance with the arms, but I'm hugging a block between my elbows. Bend your knees a little, shift forward, squeeze the block. So you're trying not to drop it, palms down, re-straighten your legs. Round 2, Prasarita Padottanasana, breathe. One more breath. Soften knees. You can drop the block, move it, scoot your feet in a little bit. And then once again, stand up slowly, step feet together. Back to that Tadasana mountain pose. Take a few breaths. Great. Make sure your mat is pulled up to the wall. Turn away from the wall, but get your feet up to the wall. Yeah. And walk your hands out a little bit in front of you and just find down dog. But make sure your heels are just a couple inches up the wall. So you've got something to push your feet into. Step your feet a little closer together. This time using the wall, stretch your right leg up the wall, curl those toes under like broken toe. Straighten both legs and pull the right hip down, slide your left hip up. So you're trying to square your hips. Squeeze your right glutes and breathe. If it's too much on the bottom leg, left leg hamstring, you can bend that knee a little bit. Release your right leg. Stretch your left leg up, toes curled under, square your hips. Breathe. Good. Come down, have a seat. Rest your hands, wrists, pause. I can't remember the weeks all blend together, but I think 2 weeks ago when I taught Monday morning, we were working with handstands. So perhaps you've seen with all our bent arms that we're maybe working towards forearm stand. That is correct. But handstand is a good preparatory pose for forearm stand. Some people don't think so. They think forearm stand's easier. It actually requires a lot more of the shoulders, but it feels easier because your head's closer to the floor, and that always freaks people out less. So like mentally, it might not feel easier, but handstand is actually like anatomically, alignment wise, safer and easier, even though you're further from the ground. So half handstand here as a prep. So you're going to bring the bottoms of your feet to the wall. You can start with hips over knees, but then walk your hands out a little bit in front of your shoulders. Not too much. You want to still be close to 90, but I understand that true 90 degrees is a very tall order. Turn your hands out a little bit. Lift your knees, walk your heels a little lower. So you're in a down dog, but it probably feels a little shorter than normal. And then when you're ready, walk your feet up about as high as your hips. Straighten your legs and stick your butt up in the air. Squeeze your legs and arms. Push the floor away with your hands and pull your belly to your spine. This is half handstand. Breathe. One more breath. Walk your feet down. Sit on your heels. Rest your hands. The good news about the forearm stand version, half version, which we're going to do in a second, is it's easier on the wrists, but it can be a lot more on the shoulders. But again, mentally, I think some people think it's easier because your head's closer. It just feels like safer, even though it's not actually, because once we start to do headstand, which we're not doing today, and you put weight on your head, that can be done safely. I rarely see it done safely because most people put way too much pressure on their head because they don't have the strength in their shoulders to do it without as much pressure on their head. All right, you're gonna need a block this time. Once again, feet flushed to the wall, knees under hips. Come down to your forearms. And you can probably do this with your elbows right under your shoulders, block between hands. If you get in and this feels too tight, you could always slide your elbows a little forward. Push hands into the blocks. Lift your hips up. Forearm dog. Remember, upper traps have to be soft here. And then one leg at a time, walk your feet up just as high as your butt. And then straighten your legs and stick your booty up in the air. Breathe. Like you're trying to move your chest towards the wall. Soften your shoulders out of your earlobes. Come down and rest. If you are someone who struggles with the elbows going out, that just means your shoulders have a lot of tightness. And so to some degree, I think you might have to let that happen because we can't force things to happen that can happen. But something that can help is if you make a loop in your strap, and you can go a little wider than your shoulders to compensate for that, but you can slip that loop right below your elbows, and that'll just help. Because even if you have the block, it's very easy to still let the elbows go wide. Again, I think if it's really hard for you, play with that to some degree, maybe not as much, but a little bit, and see if that helps. So option to strap your elbows. We're going in one more time. This time I'm going to give you the option to lift one leg up, but while you're there, listen to my cues because I see this done crazily all the time. So come on down. If you felt like I could actually back my elbows towards me a little, be more 90 degrees, you could do that or move further. Walk your feet up, half forearm stand. You can stay here or lift one leg up. Now notice I'm not flinging towards the floor. This is not good. You're stretching straight up. Pull your ribs in. But push that foot straight up, and you've got the camera, so you can actually see what the hell's happening. Come on down. Rest and breathe. It's a lot on the arms and the shoulders, I think. So take a few moments. So you know what's coming, I think. Pincha Mayurasana kick up. A couple of things. It's the same as handstand 2 weeks ago. You're not, whether it's handstand or forearm stand, we're not just like donkey kicking, but rather, let's say we're going to do forearm stand. You're walking your feet in, lifting one leg up, and you kick up. So you got to be really strong with that top leg, or it's just not going to work. For sure, at least this first round, block between hands. If that strap was helpful around your forearms, cool. You don't have to. And then after you've at least tried with the block, you could try it without. Interlaced hands is good, or palms together prayer is good. But the block, I think, gives you a little room to go. Now back up from the wall a little bit. You don't want to be too close. Push the forearms down, spread your shoulder blades, plug them in their sockets. Lift your knees, find forearm dog. See how my knees are bent? That's fine. You can walk your feet in more here. Trying to get my shoulders over my elbows. Pick one leg, lift it up. That leg is straight. Bottom leg can be bent. Ready? Kick straight up, and then the wall's right there. Now, rather than let both heels go to the wall, see I have a big back bend? Keep one foot on the wall, one leg away, squeeze your knees. And then maybe you can flirt around with free balance, or you just are working to get up there. Take breaks. Go back in again. I think early in my teaching, I don't know. I think, we've had new students filter in through the years. I used to see a lot more people like forcing these inversions to happen where maybe that wasn't great. I think now I see more and more people just not like trying, and they're scared, and they're just like, I get it. I do. I'm not negating it. I was scared to go upside down for literal years. But most always everyone's strong enough to do it. They're just like a mental block. So I get it. But you're at home. No one can really see you. So give it a whirl. Or if you're like, it's not happening,
Go back into the half forearm stand. So see how I walk my feet in, lift one leg, bend the bottom leg, kick up with all the strength you have. No baby wimpy kicks. I think it's easier to free balance in forearm stand than handstand personally. So another moment or two to try. Also, like sometimes I think people do just get tired, but like isn't a long class. We've only been practicing for like 40 minutes. So, you know, I get it, but you can't be that tired in 40 minutes. Last little bit of time. Those of you, I should account for, those of you that can get up easily, you know, my work now is pulling away from the wall a little bit more so that I'm not as reliant on it. But I think for most of you, just to get up there, you need the wall. And when you're done, you can just sit on your heels. Rest your hands on your thighs, check into your breath. Like quick 40-ish minutes to just like boom. I think it's important, like most of you know, Gabe and I are teachers that we really believe in like prepping for big poses. But I also think while yes, inversions are quote unquote a little more advanced, they're not ridiculous. And that if we sequence well, you can kind of make bigger leaps to get to a pose quicker. Doesn't always need to take 90 minutes to do a big pose. Open your knees as wide as your mat. Come to child's pose, rest your head and let your elbows soften. Find some big breaths here. Couple more breaths. And then when you come up, move the block, keep it nearby, come lie on your back, but have your feet towards the wall. I'm not going to use the wall yet, but it's there. And then bend your knees, stretch your arms out to the sides, feet as wide as your mat, and just take some windshield wipers here. And as I tip my knees one way, really like rolling my head the opposite way. Go slow, come to center, tip knees other way, head rolls opposite. So I'm like doing very, very slow windshield wipers. I invite you to do the same. Few more rounds. And then you can come back to center, cross your right ankle over the left thigh, figure four, thread your arms between your legs. And let's just stretch right hip here. I think going upside down, whether it's handstand, forearm stand, even just three-legged dogs, forearm, three-legged dog, requires a lot of like glute squeeze, especially that kick up to inversions. And so I think it feels nice to counter that here with a little hip opening, gentle hip opening. Take a few more moments here in the figure four on the right. And then take your arms out. Keep your legs here. And your left hand is just going to hold the right ankle, and your right arm can stretch out to the right. And then you'll take your whole leg set up and tip to the left. Still in figure four, you're still holding your right ankle. So bring your legs up towards you if you need to. Your right foot lands on the floor, so it's like a tipped over figure four. There's a little twist here in the belly, and you can wrap that right thigh away from you. So it's like a little twist still with hip opening. And if it feels good, you can roll your head to the right and just take some big breaths here. A couple more breaths. Good, let go. Tip your legs up, roll everything back. Switch leg, left ankle over right thigh. Figure four first. So pick up your feet, thread your left arm between your legs, and pull your legs towards you. Oof. Breathe. Few more moments here. Keep your legs in figure four, let go with your hands. Hold that left ankle with your right hand, stretch your left arm straight out. And then tip your figure four to the right. So you're standing on the floor with that left foot. Turn your belly to the left. Wrap that left leg away from you. And then maybe last but not least, roll your head to the left. Just breathe here. Last few moments. Awesome. Go ahead and release that twist. Come back to center. So this is where I'll invite you to use the wall or not, kind of up to you, but I'm going to scoot towards the wall with my big toes touching, but see how my knees are still bent, but like less bent. Because we've done a lot of chest opening, I'm not trying to do more crazy back bends, but just a flat block under pelvis will be a nice reset. And then you can stay here, or if you're wanting to use the wall, I've got my feet mat width, even a little wider. And then I'm going to straighten my legs, but kind of wiggle that block down so it kind of tucks my tailbone. Cactus arms. If you're keeping your knees bent, arms can be down by your sides. And just try to soften here for a bit. The wall is nice because I can kind of relax my legs still, but I've got my feet on the wall. So there's like a smidge more alignment here than just kind of letting my legs flop out, but I'm also not having to work very hard. Kind of the best of both worlds. Breathe here. Take a few more moments here, maybe another minute or so. Really allow the block to do the bulk of the work, right? That's why we call it supported.
so that you're having to do less effort there. So if you're like me and you have your feet on the wall, bend your knees. Everyone can bring your arms down, lift your hips up, take the block out, and lower your hips. Let's keep feet wide here. Allow the knees to knock in and rest your hands on your belly. Take a few breaths. So if you need anything else to happen, any other counter posing or movements, please do. But otherwise, you could scoot away from the wall and start to set yourself up in a nice, comfortable Shavasana. So definitely feel free to utilize your props in any way that is supportive. Blanket under knees, blanket over pelvis, blanket under head. Really anything is kind of fair game here, especially if it's going to help you relax. So do that. Take care. Set it up well. And then once you are settled, then you can do the practice of letting go, dropping in for these last few minutes.
So just start to deepen your breath in your Shavasana. And take time to slowly transition your way up to a comfortable seat. But definitely don't be in a hurry. And then when you do find your comfortable seat, I invite you. So we're talking about that aponic energy. You don't want it to be too much at the end of class or you like just want to sleep all day. But I like to keep some of that grounding. It's like why I do yoga, so that I'm feeling more grounded all the time. And so the mudra for that is index finger, middle finger, touch, oh no, sorry, middle finger, ring finger, touch thumb. So it's like rock and roll. Yeah. And you can just rest the backs of your hands on your thighs and close your eyes here. You don't have to do the mudra, it's just optional. Just check in here with how you feel post practice, starting with bringing in that grounding energy and then working up into a little more fiery energy in the chest and belly to go upside down, and then bringing the energy back down to grounded, settled. Notice how you feel. When you feel ready, draw your hands together. And you're welcome to end with a bow. Thank you all so much. Have a good day. Those of you joining me, everyone doing this later, enjoy, and I'll see you soon. Bye.